I'm Margaret in Windsor, and I'm going to try this again and see if it goes up. Yesterday I put a tape up, a long one, and there was nothing on there because I'm fooling around with this, and I can't see what I'm doing. I have to turn it and all this to see if it's on, then put it up here, and I can't see if it's filming. So here goes. Let me see. Okay, I want to start this now. And I know it's a little wobbly and all that. Bear with me. Because I don't know how I'm going to put this up today. I usually am straightforward and know what I'm, kind of what I'm putting up. But there was some added stuff to this since I'm Margaret in Windsor. And I wrote about mind control murders and how they were put together and linked. It's hard for some people to want to believe or whatever. Anyway, I'm just going to put it here because Mr. Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, March the 6th of 78, and I'm living at Moonraker Apartments part of the time. Yes. I started out at Treetop near Terrell Mill. Well, it was in Marietta, okay. And I knew about mind control murders. It's the Tesla files that were stolen. And here is something that is part of the link. At the time, I had worked for doctors and everything, and I'm not going to get into all that I put up here. I'm going to try to get this on real quick so that I get it on this 19 minute tape. So let me start. I found out when I was doing the book at Treetop in 78, 76. I already knew about murders being created, and it goes back to the Tesla files that were stolen in 1930. So you could cure an illness or create one way back then. So this bit with the doctors and medical and donating and charity is a bunch of bull. You've always had the cure. And the Tesla files involved a lot more than that. Supposedly, well, the Illuminati that kidnapped me, I was kidnapped in 41, age 2, and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given another name, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married a Childers, and I have to use that name. And I guess this is going to be rambling, because what I'm putting up, I didn't live it, so I just read it over. I knew of it, let me say that, but I hadn't put it up that much, other than I mentioned it was a mind control murder. Part of the files was that you can create an illness or cure it, cancer, diabetes, you can, anything, strokes, suicide, make it look like someone committed suicide, like Mark from Ork. Now, whether any of this is about Mark from Ork, I know it was suicide, but some of the other stuff that I've been told, I have no idea if it's the truth or not. It deals in emotions, and that was in the program, Mark from Ork, and Pam Dawber. Wow. Anyway, so where am I now? At Moonraker, let me get this in real quick. When I lived at Moonraker, I was doing the book. I moved there from Treetop, where I started it. And at Treetop, I learned that you can use a ham set back then. And at a low level, you can get the ham set near your wall, someone's wall, or whatever, or long distance ham sets. I mean, they go all over the world. Supposedly at end times, the ham set's about all you'll have to use. Anyway, you can teach a person at low level frequency they're not aware they're getting the Morse code. And you can induce all this. Mind control, program them, they're puppets. Now then, it's been a long time since then. And I lived, so the satellites and all this have gotten more popular, and this is your communication satellites, etc. And you can mass produce armies. So why do you think all these murders Kids are shooting moms and dads, and they're shooting all these students and planes going down. And like the KAL, the doctor I wrote about, Larry McDonald, congressman doctor, you'd think they'd be concerned about all this. Larry McDonald was supposed to be in the KAL that went down August the 31st of 83. That allowed me to be, or made the way for me. He wasn't on it, by the way. I understand they faked it. Richard Nixon, the president, who I've told about on these tapes, and the lobotomy, and Henry Kissinger, and the 18.5-minute gap, you'd think somebody would want to be concerned about, that was subpoenaed, and then they made the gap in it, because guess who they had on the table going to lobotomize them if the Brits didn't hand over money, and or my family, or treaties, or this or that, to save my life. Now then, if I've got you a little confused, you should walk in my shoes a little bit and see what I've had to deal with. But anyway, I moved from Treetop doing the book. I worked for Forsyth and Kuchar, doctors there at Northside. Did books and medical. Anyway, I even copied the book there when I was writing the manuscript. They knew I was writing it, and they gave me a letter of recommendation when I left. I mean, they should have, but they were nice to me. Now then, I've put all this up, a lot of videos, and I'm going to get to this. I moved to Moonraker Apartments in Marietta, and I was doing the book, and so much happened. Larry Flint was shot, and I knew it was a program shooter that shot him. By the way, I want to get back to this real quick. Tesla files were stolen, and I'm writing about mind control that goes back to the Tesla files, curing illness created or programming people. And actually, you're changing their personality. Their, let's see, I'm losing what I was, this is mind-boggling me this morning. I went back trying to look at it, and wow. Okay, so let me just cut to the chase. I'm going to put a few things down. I'm going to quit because I am kind of tired anyway. Listen, let me go back to the statements I made back when Meghan Markle married Harry. Harry is probably not even really Harry, and Meghan Markle played no. Meghan Markle married him. She was in Suits, I believe, up in Canada filming. And her father is white and her mother is a black lady. Nobody's ever called me lady much unless they were British. They did. You're our lady. I'll always remember that over at Nick's in Charlottesville when I was waitressing. So anyway, let me get to this. Meghan married Harry. Harry is William, who is illegal, William and Kate. Okay, the whole lineage, Charles and man, he broke all the records, rules. Goes back to Elizabeth's illegal, and the Illuminati kidnapped me. I was born in 41, brought over here, and given another name. And I'm having difficulty with making this because I didn't live it. I lived it, but not. Okay, let me see. Anyway, I was trying to tell people about my being kidnapped. My father is Edward VIII. He never married Wallace Warfield Simpson. The Illuminati, that's your global government in power right up here now, and they're working what's going on right at this moment up there. So maybe you can put this together yourself. I'm sure there's some people trying to, maybe. Anyway, I am going to get confused on here because this is not something that I had written down. I don't write it down. I do it from memory, and this is a little, I'm having to go back. Okay, so my father is Edward VIII, who married Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, Windsor from Madison, Wisconsin. School teacher, sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe. They took my father down He became king in 36. They took him down, and because he wouldn't follow the orders, and he loved his country. This is a good man, and look at what history has done to him. As of today, they still have all these videos, and God bless them, help them or something if I ever make it. Oh, please, somewhere there has to be a judgment day. To do this to this wonderful man and my mom, and to me and my sons, it's horrible what they've done to us here. Mark and Scott are heirs after me. Okay. I may have to try this one over. I haven't done that too many times. Anyway, getting to this. I wrote about mind control murders, back to the Tesla files, and I know half this video is going to be gone before I even get to the end of it. I told about my being kidnapped, and my father had papers legal drawn up, went through channels that if he had an heir, the heir would inherit. And I was born, and I'm his only child. So I listened to all this other crap going up there, and yeah, it burns me to my soul to know what's been done to him and my mom, me and my children, by this ugly bunch of people who now control your world because they took my father down. They went into the UK, they took it over, they put military bases underneath the UK. Australia's got an Area 51. They're all over the place. Stop and look at it, people, because it's going to come back, as already is, as UN and the global government. Henry Kissinger, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, the end times. I never thought that until that I was getting into something like that, or had been born into the Illuminati kidnapping me and taking down my dad, and saying my father married Wallace Warfield Simpson, an American spy who married a double. Wasn't my father, it was one of the doubles, of imposters. Now then, that made way for illegal George VI and Elizabeth. And she and the rest of my family, some of them, the Windsors, some of them, are way up with the Illuminati that kidnapped me and did that to my country and to my father. Now, I want to get to this. I was kidnapped. JFK helped it. His father had been made ambassador to England by Roosevelt, President Roosevelt, another Jew. Am I allowed to say that? Because I hope you get to see what they did to me, an innocent person, because of my name, what they did to my mom, dad, and country, and to my babies when they were babies. It took real brave people to do all this. Oh, you better believe it. They're brave. Believe it. You would think that they'd be so happy about it they'd shout it to the world, like JFK Jr. when he came up on the mountain to see how they made me live in garbage and dump, and the things they had done to me, and laugh at me, he and his cousin. By the way, they died within 12 days of each other in 2000 or 1999. He flew into the ocean, and the other one, the cousin that was up there, Lee Raswell, Jackie's sister, who supposedly married into royalty, which is a bunch of crap. You got the Rothschilds, and I'm not going to go into the other one. I like one of them. Let's just say Philip Mountbatten's family, because I like the one lady that's a Mountbatten. She spoke up for me. Okay, where am I? Let me get back to this. I've been trying to tell my name and who I am. I'm Victoria II, the day I was born. Therefore, my sons Mark and Scott are heirs after me. Mark and Scott's names have been used in the patterns, in the mind control murders that were deliberately done. I had a letter from the FBI June the 23rd of 79, and a ongoing investigation, national security involved. Also included was a handwritten letter in ink, red ink, by Agent Guest, a very nice man. Okay, all this was, I've just put this up, how I came back from Ronald Reagan's office in November of 82, and what happened to me on the way back, and everything taken from me. Then later, Jimmy Carter, a bank that was owned by Burt Lance, who was in his staff and under investigation when he was president, it was illegally removed from my safety deposit box. So where there's a copy of it, I don't know. Maybe the White House kept it. Ronald Reagan kept it after he sent his henchmen after me and what they did to me. Okay, now back to this. So I've been trying to tell who I am and what's been done to me. And here you got me I'm telling about mind control murders done in patterns. Larry Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, Gwinnett County, next door to Marietta, where I was living at Moonraker. Moonraker, I lived there. That a movie later, a year or so later, with a Bond, 007, Roger Moore played him. It had to do with a mind control thing, too. This is after I did my book, got the letter from the FBI that Moonraker movie came out. Ian Fleming, 007, and the name Moonraker. I lived at Moonraker a year before, and the title of my book was MD, A License to Kill. Okay, after Roger Moore, a year later in Moonraker, 007, he played 007. Okay, you got a year later, there's Timothy Dalton in A License to Kill. He's a 007. Out of Ian Fleming. Now then, I think he only played in one or two of them, in two of the movies, maybe. Now then, someone brought my attention to Mel Gibson. And Mel Gibson is, well, I don't know if he's born in Australia. He may have been, but I like Mel Gibson. So mind control was used on him, this whole thing was. But somebody on YouTube brought my attention to him this morning, got me started on this. Mel Gibson ended up either having a relationship or being married to Timothy Dalton, a Brit, played 007, A License to Kill. And, it just gets to be links, and I'm going to try to go into a little bit more if this doesn't go off. I'm afraid I'm going to be filming on an empty. In fact, I think I am now, and I don't know if I'm going to do this again. Today, anyway. Anyway, I started thinking about the Mark from Mark, and he was supposed to have committed suicide. Well, it was done by mind control. Okay, Pam Dawber played the part. The spinoff there, she had a spinoff, My Sister Sam. Okay, she played Schaeffer. I don't know, I just couldn't go back and do this morning. I had to go back to, okay, Pam Dawber was a spinoff from Mark from Ork. And emotions is the clue there. Whether this part's true, if you ever heard about the emotions, I don't know. I have to kind of hope so. My Sister Sam, Pam Dawber, was played by Rebecca Schaeffer. She was shot point blank by a stalker and died July the 18th of 1989. July the 18th is my son Mark's birthday. The one they did both my children so horrible, but he's heir to the crown after me. Not William and Kate, not any of that bunch of fake war criminals. Elizabeth, Philip, Mountbatten, none of them. Okay. You got to know in this, if it's ever told, where the Sammy comes from. It started out Samantha, and then it's Sammy. And in psychology, you project onto animals or even your cars and stuff how you feel about something. Well, little Sammy started out, I thought I had a little girl. I don't know how it sounds. This is true. Samantha, so you can call me names right now. Maybe this will be told. And this is going to go off, and if I find out it's not up there, I'm not going to do it again. I got a Persian cat when I was doing this book in 76. Little Samantha, I thought.